Folks, welcome back. Sorry, I've been a little behind dealing with some of these crazy releases and shipping and everything up to date. So I have obviously a video queue of all kinds of things that are behind right now. Number one, about 9 to 10 vintage Magic the Gathering collection purchasing videos behind. I know a lot of people I did the deals with who did want to see a video. Bear with me, I got about almost 10 videos in the backup queue that I've just not been filming all the old transactions. They're all lined up, they haven't been filmed yet. Be patient with me. And also, we got a lot of Patreon questions and topics for videos I haven't gotten to. And I expect to be fully caught up and get back to normal here in probably another week or so. This next week still be pretty busy for me. I still have about 900 MetaZoo kits to ship, a couple hundred Flesh and Blood kits, and then I'm taking delivery of possibly, I think, the last wave. Is it? I'm not sure. I'm taking delivery of my giant couple thousand box of Modern Horizon 2 draft to finally offer those for the below 200, for those 190, 180, I'm hoping 180s shipped to the patrons. So I'm trying to deal with that. And then, of course, still working on some side deals regarding Double Masters drafts and Double Masters collector boxes to try to see if I can line those up from other stores. So far it's looking pretty good. But anyway, so here's a message from a couple months ago. Sorry, again, so I apologize. Give me another week or so, folks, to get caught up. And like I said, when you guys just see a box opening video, it's because I'm behind. I'm just trying to keep the channel on autopilot. Okay, so this is from a couple months ago. Great question. I get asked this all the time, and I've been wanting to make a video on this topic. Rudy, not trying to be a Timmy. Home fries, cheese skillet, waffle fries. Out of sheer curiosity, do you have any content or just recommendations on the best strategies for actually selling sealed product that minimizes fees and taxes legally, I like that, associated with online selling, eBay or TCG, etc.? Obviously, this is a very complicated and subjective and polarizing topic. And then, of course, there's a second little secondary question, which we may or may not get to in this video. It is, what do you plan on doing with yourself, Rudy? Well, I like to touch myself because I'm creepy. I'm kidding. Come on. I didn't want you guys to think I'm too serious. I mean, look at my hair. I'm trying to keep the video fun. So, what do you plan on doing with your actual massive stake in old card sealed product? Are you going to be taking it to the grave, passing it down? I would assume at some point you have to move some of these assets, and that should be carefully planned out. Thank you, your long-term patron, Brandon. This is from, holy cow, end of May. Holy smokes. Okay, so great message there, everybody. And first, let's address the simple basic mindsets here. When you sell product or run any form of business, I like to always say the difference between the amateur people and the people who do high volume and professionals and things, they focus on different things. So we're going to start here. I can always tell when someone contacts me. It's like, Rudy, I don't know. I got your favorite card, Gwendolyn. We got a Legends Gwendolyn Day card. Anyway, we got a $300 Magic card. But Rudy, I heard you're willing to pay $200 for the $300 card. I said, okay. Sounds good. Yeah, that's about right. 60%, 60 cents on the dollar. Yeah, plus or minus 10%, depending if it's bad condition or not. And that's fine. But I don't want to sell you this $300 card because you pay through PayPal, right? I said, that's correct. Well, I don't want to pay the 3% fee. Well, that's the end of the conversation, folks, and I hope it works out for you, but that is where I usually walk away, or I kind of just say, I'm out in the old Mark Cuban style. Usually, a lot of newer sellers, lower volume sellers, and usually younger individuals, they're very what I like to call fee sensitive. So historically, if somebody contacts me to sell me something, sealed product, a vintage item, a single card, whatever, I look for certain key attributes. And if you trigger or trip any of those Rudy triggers, or it triggers me, and I'm like, I tend to back away. Usually those type of key triggers are, Rudy, this is like a $1,000 transaction. I need to meet with you. We need to set an appointment. You need to maybe either meet me halfway in Florida, or we have to set an appointment to come to one of your offices or stores. With all due respect, with my schedule and everything I deal with, you have to understand, folks, on a normal day, I ship 300 to 500 packages. So for me to schedule a 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hour window waiting for you or meeting you or doing anything, unless the transaction is 6 figures or above, it's not going to happen. Nothing to do with you. It's just basic business scales of the economy of scale in my time, and the importance of trying to make sure the patrons get their stuff. I can try to keep on the messages so patrons don't have to wait more than a couple days for a response. I try to keep everything in a certain rhythm. So when I run into somebody who's fee sensitive, I'm out. When I run into somebody who say, Rudy, I don't trust the mail. I don't trust PayPal. I barely trust you. I'm out. It's important to understand there's enough people and there's enough business for everybody to enjoy the playground. So it's important for me, based on the amount of contacts I get, to make sure I'm selective on what's worth my time putting into. And that's what I've been doing now for probably about 2-3 years. And it's been very effective. It's actually increased the amount of transactions I've done, because by focusing on transactions that have a better success rate, not more so how profitable or the size, by focusing on the transactions that are more likely to occur, it keeps me in a better state of mind. It keeps the seller happier, and it's more beneficial for the business, more videos that are made off the transactions, and everybody wins. So that's the first thing. If you're looking to buy or invest or collect in cards, sealed product, or anything across the board, if you're a fee-sensitive individual, you're going to lose the long game, okay? You will learn, and there are other factors, like once you break above $1 million a year in PayPal, once you break above 10 million per calendar year in PayPal, they literally disable your friends and family option. So for me, the only option, like if you send me a payment, is goods and services. Once you break above, especially the 10, 20 million plus in annual sales, you don't have a choice. Everything is you're paying the fees, bro. There's no, when you hit that level, it is what it is. So if I see someone trying to sell me a $300 ABC card, XYZ card, and they say, well, Rudy, the problem is I'm not willing to pay the PayPal fee. You need to pay me. I'm like, it's $9. So essentially, you don't want to do a deal, and we're going back and forth on multiple messages over $9. And again, I no longer do that. Essentially, I cut it off quickly and I move on. It's important to be efficient. So back to this question. As far as fees, and we'll get to the tax part in a second, but as far as fees go, the reality is you need to pay your fees. Because there's this Timmy mindset in the world, ladies and gentlemen, that, well, Rudy, and I love this one. Rudy, I tell all my friends to only sell on the secret Facebook Silk Road back page Craigslist marketplace. And then I make people, pay through cash or meet them, then PayPal. So I don't have to pay the 9% PayPal or the 9% eBay or TCG player fees. So let me explain something again that anyone who's done tremendous volume or business in the collectible world is going to tell you. When you sell on a private group, Facebook, MySpace, Tumblr, Twitter, Tingler, I don't know, whatever this shit people use, the young hip people are using. When you're not paying those fees, you're happy. But you're going to learn very quickly that the people who are looking to buy from you are going to demand a better price because you're not paying the fees. I'll give you an example. You sell a $300 card on eBay. That same $300 card on MySpace Marketplace is probably going to have to sell for $270 to $280. Why? Because people are going to want a better deal than the $300 market price. So essentially, you don't make any more money. Are you guys starting to? It'll start to come together in a minute. Essentially, what you learn is low volume people in newer Timmies who are involved in flipping, fulfillment by Amazon, drop shipping. Is that still a thing? I think most of it's been, the efficient market frontier things eventually wipe that shit out. But you're going to learn that you see the small fish out there and you see them trying to cut and save the few pennies in fees. And you kind of chuckle because they spend so much time trying to not sell on mainstream websites. They'd rather get less traffic and sell without the fees. But historically, you have to sell at a lower price. So there's really no benefit to going that route. Sometimes there can be unique exceptions. A misprint card, a unique item that's difficult to sell. It's different. So in conclusion, folks, in my experience long term, pay the 9% fee. You're selling a $300 box of cards? Well, pay the $27 eBay TCG player fee. And that, in other words, and then of course your normal 3%, ship it, whatever. So if you sell a $300 item, you're probably going to walk away with what, $250, $260, $255-ish? So that is the reality of it. It is what it is. When I do all the budgeting, everything I sell, everything I deal with is based on paying the PayPal fees and shipping the item. It's all built into the model. It is what it is. If I'm selling, a standard box of, I don't even know, let's pick on something. What's the worst set? Crimson Val, I guess. If I'm selling a box of Crimson Val for $88, okay, well, you can take off what, $3 in PayPal fees? $4? What, $4. So I'm down to 84. Okay, you ship the box. Depending if you're West Coast, East, depending the distance of the shipping. Let's just say $5 to $7. So I'm going to net on an $88 thing. The whole business is going to be built around. I'm going to net, what? $78, $79 a box? And obviously, every once in a while you get a sale or clearance where you can get it below that. But in general, distributors are going to sell for more than that, and you're not going to make money. That's the reality of the situation if somebody buys a box. So the fees are not an obstacle. The concept of trying to sell and the concept of trying to be creative and spending all this effort to avoid the fees is a Timmy loser's game. Because you're not focusing on the business, how to sell more, pricing, your opportunities, other things to learn, research. You're focused on fee avoidance, which is a loser's game. Because that's the difference between somebody who's trying to be upset and push against the system versus somebody who just runs straight through the system, takes the hits, takes the cuts, and realizes how many times can I run through? How many times can I rinse and repeat it? How can I increase it? That's the different mindsets out there. Okay, let's go to the next thing. Now, taxes. Taxes, I can give you a basic concept here. Most businesses and stores like me, I've been getting a 1099, and I've been putting on my tax return every year for I don't even know how many years. Jesus, 5, 10, 15 years at this point? God, how long have I been doing it? No, 10, probably about 10 to 12 years. I've had 1099s on my tax return. So the 1099 situation, I can't explain to you what's the best thing for you in the back room to do because everybody's different. Every state in the United States has different state taxes and business structures and different local rules. Maybe you have a local city tax. Maybe you have a city and state tax. I'm in Florida. We don't deal with any of that stupid shit. I literally have federal tax and that's it. So, Florida man. Hey. Sorry. Okay. I get too much for that. Now, some people work a regular job, get paid on a W-2, and on the side hustle, they're selling cards on eBay. They're flipping stuff. All of a sudden, eBay's giving them a 1099. Guess what? You're going to have to put that 1099 on your tax return as some sort of side business or hustle or collectible category or flipping or whatever it is you're doing or selling or majority. You're going to, and again, that's when you have to speak with a licensed tax advisor to see what's a good fit and what matches specifically what you are selling and where you are selling it. That is the reality of it. Now, again, if you're an LGS or you own businesses or you have office locations and warehouse locations and store locations and you're in a Rudy situation, well, it goes under the umbrella of the business. So again, you're going to have all kinds of fixed costs. So you're going to have your gross sales, your cost of goods sold, your variable cost that flows down. You're going to kind of go through the whole thing, and then you're going to see what's left over. And then, of course, with more complicated, especially if you're owning real estate, you're going to have amortization schedules and long-term depreciation for certain actual like capital goods and goodwill. And then if something's a write-down, goodwill impairment. And I'm not going to go into all that. I'm not going to teach you guys because it's too complicated. And it's too much of a case-by-case basis, which is why licensed tax advisors are where you need to search for that. But in conclusion of that question is, Rudy, is there any legally associated ways? Yeah. The legal thing and what you're supposed to do and what any large business does, they put on their tax return, bro. I mean, I don't know why there's this mysterious stigma that you don't, because there's no way around it. Yeah, I'm going to get a PayPal 1099. It's going to show like $18 million. And I'm just going to be like, nah, let's just pretend we didn't get it. Hey, Bill. Hey, Lumberg, what's that PayPal 1099 say? 15 million this year? Let's just act like we don't forget. If you don't put a $15 million 1099 on your tax return, you're going to get a love letter from the IRS. So anyone who thinks that that's not the case, you're just a flippin' Timmy, and I'm sorry, it's just funny. I mean, again, back to the TCG player eBay fees, back to the taxes and running a business. These are things you shouldn't be fighting against. These are things you should be utilizing, learning about, and then focusing on how to do more in the important categories. Maybe you expand on Facebook. Maybe you expand on OnlyFans. And Rudy starts showing his haircuts on OnlyFans. And you have another revenue stream. Maybe you figure out a different way. On Instagram, you start doing, Rudy nude hairy arm stuff. I don't know, whatever you're into. You need to, that's, the problem remains that, and again, Brandon's message is actually very good. This is a great video. I've been wanting to make a topic on this for a while. The problem remains that what Brandon's doing is he's looking at the things that he should be doing or selling, but he's stressed out and worried about fees and taxes, and he's not focused on the right thing. And that has caused him, in my opinion, and it causes most people setbacks because they're not focusing and working on the right mindset and categories. They're focusing on avoidance and evasion versus this is the system, this is the way things flow, how can I build something good? And it's a problem of perspective. And I hope that makes sense to you all, and I hope that helps different people out there. So have a beautiful day, everybody. I've been wanting to talk about that.